Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
In 1991, a 57-year-old man from Georgia, USA, experienced a life-altering event. He was a married father of 5, with 10 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren on the way. Though medically retired, he disliked retirement and spent his time staying active. Leading up to the event, he had been feeling increasingly unwell, experiencing fatigue, shortness of breath, numbness in his arm, and sleeplessness. He assumed these symptoms were due to aging and his smoking habit. One day, while working on a truck in his yard, he began to feel nauseous, sweating profusely, with severe chest cramps radiating down his arm. As a smoker, he initially believed that sitting down and smoking a cigarette would relieve his discomfort. His wife, Anne, arrived home from her job as a school bus driver, noticed his pale appearance, and immediately became concerned. He tried to reassure her that he would be fine, but moments later, as he walked inside the house, he collapsed, feeling as though his air had been completely cut off, with a crushing sensation in his chest. Realizing the gravity of the situation, and called 911. The man, believing he was having a heart attack, asked her to also call their friend Grady, who had nitroglycerin tablets for heart issues. Grady arrived before the EMTs, but even the tablets offered no relief. When the EMTs finally arrived, they confirmed that he was experiencing a massive heart attack and was throwing blood clots. At this point, his wife was hysterical, and the man, realizing the severity of his condition, told his friend and the EMTs that he was going to die. As his condition worsened, he began to feel a strange sensation, as if his body was going numb and everything around him started turning gray. Despite the chaos, he felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Everything went black for what seemed like only a moment. When he became aware again, he found himself floating above the EMTs, watching them work frantically to save him. They shocked him repeatedly, administering shots to his heart. His spirit continued to float above, and he saw his friend Grady vomiting outside by the truck, while Anne was being consoled by neighbors. The man watched as the EMTs brought in a backup crew with a new set of paddles, and still, he remained calm, devoid of any fear of death. Suddenly, he found himself inside a narrow tunnel, moving at an incredible speed toward an immensely bright, yet non-blinding light. The light was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen, and as he entered it, he felt completely enveloped by it, with a profound sense of peace and love that words could not adequately describe. A voice emerged from the light, assuring him that everything would be all right. He instinctively knew it was God, and although God told him he had to return to life because his wife was not coping well, the man resisted. He did not want to leave the overwhelming love and peace he felt. God promised to show him heaven before sending him back. In heaven, the man saw gates and was greeted by his deceased parents and grandparents, along with another figure who expressed love toward him, though the man did not recognize him. They all assured him they were fine and would wait for him to return. In heaven, time seemed to stand still, and the man marveled at the indescribable beauty, the clearest rivers, greenest grass that left no footprints, and the most beautiful music and flowers he had ever seen. There were no signs of illness or sadness, and everyone seemed to be in perfect health. After what felt like months, God told the man it was time to return to Earth to complete his work. Reluctantly, the man was sent back through the tunnel, just as quickly as he had arrived. When he awoke, he was back in his body, looking up at the EMTs, who were still working on him. His young grandson had wandered into the room during the commotion. After 23 shots and 3 shocks, he was barely alive but en route to the hospital. He overheard one of the EMTs telling his brother-in-law not to rush, as they didn't expect him to survive the trip. However, he made it to a trauma center, where a skilled doctor worked to stabilize him. A nurse he knew recognized him, and though the situation seemed dire, he was determined to survive. The doctor later informed his wife that the only chance of survival was an expensive clot-busting drug. She agreed, joking that if her husband knew the price, it might cause another heart attack. The treatment worked, and after several days in the hospital, including a procedure to remove blockages in his arteries, he began a slow road to recovery. During his time in the hospital, a nurse approached him, asking about his NDE. She had recently lost her 8-year-old son to cancer and sought comfort in knowing what heaven was like. Though hesitant at first, fearing people would think he was crazy, he shared his story, offering her peace and closure. She remained by his side throughout his recovery, caring for him as if he were family. Since that day, the man's life has drastically changed. He takes each day as it comes, appreciating the extra time he's been given. He now focuses on helping others, teaching Bible classes, singing in the church choir, and even writing poetry. Though he had never written anything before, his NDE inspired him to write 12 poems, one of which describes his near-death journey. He hopes that by sharing his experience, he can help others face death without fear, knowing what awaits on the other side. He continues to live his life in a way that he believes will please God, hoping to one day return to heaven when his time on earth is done. He expresses deep gratitude for the extra years God has granted him and for all the medical professionals who played a part in his survival. This is a true story written by Jerry on June 28, 2001.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.